Hey there, travelers. Ever wondered how you could turn your vacations into tax-saving adventures? Well, buckle up, because I've got some insider tips for you. Imagine you're planning a luxurious getaway, maybe to a Caribbean resort or just visiting family a couple of states away. Now, what if I told you that you could save a boatload of money on taxes just by converting that trip into a business venture? When you travel for business, you can deduct a ton of expenses. And I'm not just talking about basic stuff. I mean, we're talking first-class airfare, presidential suite stays, renting fancy cars like Rolls-Royce, or even cruising on a boat, all fully deductible. Think of it as getting a travel discount based on your tax bracket. Depending on where you fall, this could easily be 30, 40, 50, or even 60% off your travel expenses. So why not make your next trip both a business and pleasure affair? It's like getting a bonus vacation at a fraction of the cost. In this video, we will talk about the savvy traveling. When you're on a business trip, there are two main types of expenses you can deduct. First off, there are transportation expenses. This covers everything from flights to car rentals within the 50 states and Washington, D.C. Here's the catch. If most of your trip is for business purposes, you can deduct the entire cost of transportation. However, if it's mainly a personal trip, sorry, no deductions for you on transportation expenses. Next up are life expenses, including accommodation and meals while traveling. The good news is that you can deduct these expenses on business days, but on personal days, you'll have to foot the bill yourself. So when planning your business trip, keep these deductions in mind to make the most out of your travel budget. When it comes to deducting your travel expenses for business, the tax code uses phrases like ordinary and necessary. Now, these terms might sound a bit vague, but don't worry, we'll break it down for you. First off, ordinary doesn't mean it has to be a common practice in your industry. It just needs to be a reasonable expense, given your line of work. And necessary doesn't strictly mean it's a business need. It's more about whether it's appropriate and helpful for your business. Now, because these rules are quite broad and open to interpretation, they can be tricky to navigate. But fear not, we're here to help. We dive into case law to understand what qualifies as a legitimate business purpose, so you don't have to sift through the legal jargon yourself. Stay tuned for more insights on how to make the most of your business travel deductions. Courts analyze business purpose cases based on relevant facts and circumstances, which we've distilled into 5 key rules for practical application. First, ensure your trip has a profit motive, showing long-term benefits to your business. Second, adhere to this overnight rule by staying away from your usual workplace overnight for deductible expenses. Third, pass the for only test to confirm the trip's primary focus is business-related, not personal. Fourth, meet the primary purpose test by prioritizing business activities during your trip. Finally, maintain thorough records of expenses, including receipts and itineraries for audit-proof deductions. By following these rules and keeping detailed records, you can confidently justify your business travel expenses and maximize deductions effectively. First, we'll start with successful cases where the business owners won their deductions. These cases highlight what worked well in justifying the business purpose for their trips. After that, we'll explore some cases where business owners lost their deductions due to weak arguments or insufficient documentation. These examples will shed light on common mistakes to avoid when claiming business travel expenses. By examining these cases, you'll gain valuable insights into what strategies work and what pitfalls to steer clear of when it comes to justifying your business travel deductions. Here's what you should keep in mind regarding conventions and their tax implications. Travel expenses incurred for conventions held within the North American area can be deducted if the convention serves to advance your business interests. This includes events like conferences or workshops that provide valuable networking opportunities and industry insights. Conventions outside the North American area must directly relate to your business activities, and the chosen location should be reasonably aligned with the event's purpose. This ensures that your travel expenses are justifiable in terms of the business benefits gained from attending. If a convention offers recorded lectures or virtual attendance options, you can only claim travel deductions if accessing the content from another location isn't feasible. In essence, if you could have participated remotely from home, travel expenses wouldn't be deductible. It's crucial to note that deductions are not applicable to seminars or events solely focused on investment activities. The deductions specifically pertain to conventions that contribute directly to your trade or business operations. By grasping these guidelines, you can make informed decisions about attending conventions and ensure that your travel expenses align with the tax code's parameters for deductible business expenses. Here are some cautionary tales from taxpayers who lost their travel deductions due to weak justifications or inadequate record keeping. George Buchanan, a custom plywood manufacturer, invited customers on a 4-day trip to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. The trip included accommodations in the French Quarter and a Mississippi River cruise. However, the court ruled against deductions the expenses as the primary focus of the trip was entertainment, with business discussions being merely incidental. Robert Blackshear, a minister, took a tour group to Europe but couldn't demonstrate a profit motive for the trip. Without a clear business-related reason, his deductions were disallowed. Francis Manning lost deductions for 5 separate trips because he failed to maintain adequate records proving the business nature of the trips. This lack of proper record keeping due to the denial of his deduction. Keeping meticulous records is a non-negotiable aspect of managing business travel expenses according to tax law. You need to document the amount spent on each aspect of your travel, such as transportation, accommodation, and meals. Additionally, noting down the dates of your departure and return, the number of days spent on business activities during each trip, and the specific cities or towns visited is crucial. Equally important is articulating the business purpose of your travel or the anticipated benefits from each trip. By maintaining clear and detailed records of these elements, you not only ensure compliance with tax regulations but also safeguard your ability to claim legitimate deductions for your business travel expenses. Are you thinking about combining business with pleasure on your next trip? It's a smart move that you can make your travel expenses tax deductible. Here are 5 key principles to guide you when you're justifying the business reason for your trip. Firstly, ensure there's a profit motive behind your travels. You should have a clear expectation that the trip will contribute to your business financial success either immediately or down the line. Secondly, remember the overnight rule. Deductions typically apply to trips where you stay overnight away from your regular place of business. Next, apply the for-only test to assess if a rational business person would undertake the trip solely for the business reasons you're citing or if personal elements dominate the purpose. For trips within the United States, aim to pass the primary purpose test by dedicating most of your travel days to business activities. Lastly, maintaining meticulous records is crucial. Make sure to document all aspects of your trip as required by tax law to support your deductions. By following these principles and finding a legitimate business purpose for your trip, you can enjoy a tax break while blending work and leisure seamlessly. Just remember to keep those records in order. Thanks for watching our guide on making your vacation a tax-deductible business trip. Follow these tips for savings, have a profit motive, stay overnight, apply the for-only test, pass the primary purpose test, and keep good records. Subscribe for more financial tips. Happy travels!